Welcome out to Grace Baptist Church, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Pastor Danny Duger. Well, thank you, Pastor, for inviting us out today and his wonderful Cruisin for Christ. This is what, third or fourth annual?
This is third annual.
Third annual. It's been a joy to come out each and every year. What brought this to mind, and why do y'all do this for the community, Pastor?
We just wanted to do something so people could understand you can have a good time at church. And so we just put it on each year and invite people to come to church and just have a good time. As you can see, we have a lot of different cars, different people. So mainly just lets folks know that Christ is real and alive.
Yeah, he is, and we live him every day, and we thank you for sharing it and for inviting people out. Just so many different walks, so many different automobiles, so many different stories. We're going to get busy and meet some of those. Thank you, Pastor.
You do that. Thank you.
Hey, we're standing here with Kenny Weldon. You may recognize him from around Dublin. You got a 31 Ford?
Yeah.
Tell us about this automobile.
It's a 1931 Ford four-door sedan. It's all original. It has the original flathead four-cylinder engine in it. This was my late father-in-law's personal car that was left to my son, and it was his daily driver. He drove it everywhere around town.
Daily driver.
Right here in town.
Yeah, and people remember seeing this car drive around.
Oh, yeah. He always had the white beard and played Santa Claus here in town.
Yeah, yeah.
That was him. It was William Locke.
William Locke. Yeah.
And it's all original, and it runs just like a Singer sewing machine.
Yeah, well, we're going to ask you to start it up in just a minute, Kenny, but tell us about your family, about your son and all.
He's 22 years old. He lives here in Dublin with us, graduated from West Lawrence High School, and this was left to him by his grandfather.
Yeah. And how often do y'all get out and drive it?
Every car show.
Every car show?
We hit a roughly 15 to 20 car shows a year with this car.
Yeah. What's the most unique thing to you about this automobile?
It's a slant window Murray body, and most of the people want coupes, and you hardly ever see the truck, but the four-door sedan is pretty special to us because there's not a lot of them around, especially the slant window. The front windshield just lays back at a little angle. That's the only difference in the car. But
and the interior is pretty close to
it's pretty close to the original material still in the car.
Like.
He did not want the car to look at. He bought it to drive. He had the outside of the car painted and redone the body, but he said, I don't want to look at it, I bought it to drive. So that's why the interior in it has not been touched yet. We've tried to leave it to the way he wanted it when he passed away.
Okay, well, we're going to get your son to show us a little bit more.
Right.
So let's take a look at the inside and you tell us about it.
Okay. These cars, people back in the 30s and 40s were not as big as people are today. They weren't as tall, and they certainly weren't as heavy. So there's not a lot of leg room in these cars.
Step over there,
on this side. We actually have the front seat slid back because Pop was 6'4" and my son is 6'3". And as you can see, there is very little leg room in there. You're basically knees to chest. Now we do have a lot of room. There's a lot of leg room in the back seat. We have a picture there in the back seat, a picture of him the day that the car was bought and brought back to Dublin.
Where'd he buy it?
From a guy in McDonough. And the guy had it restored and didn't know anything about the car. The generator on it went out and he didn't know how to make it crank, and Pop did. He went up and bought the car. But as you can see, the interior the seats tore a little, but I'm not gonna say that's 85 years old, but that's pretty close. That is the original material, type of material and pattern for a 31 Ford four-door sedan. They're solid. I mean, the car's 87 years old and it's got rattles when you shut the door, but a lot of cars today won't be standing around in 87 years. We did put 35 wheels and tires on the car. We have the original 3.5-inch tire and wheel that goes to the 31. But with Pop driving it daily, the car would dart around in the road. But by putting the wider tire, it made it safer to drive. And we also put hydraulic brakes on the car instead of the old mechanical, because it'll stop now. With the mechanicals, you'll stop, but it might not be where you want. And we even left his license plate that he had. He was a disabled veteran, and we left the plate on the car. We have no intention, hopefully, to ever change that plate. You know, the car is insured to drive just like it is. It's really safer for it sitting in the garage.
Now we're over here with Donnie Mullis, and most everybody knows Donnie. Donnie, you've been around town a long time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you got a real unique automobile here, a Metropolitan?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about it.
1960 Metropolitan, and I bought the car in 2000, 10 from a guy in Virginia, and it needed a little work on it, so I decided I'd bring it home, and I completely redid the vehicle. It took me about 4.5 years to restore it, but I took my time, and I think I did the best I could with it. Probably not perfect, but it's I think it done come out pretty good.
It looks real good. You know, it's so clean and beautiful. Now, Donnie, most everything looks original, is it?
Well, it's the original colors on it, black and white. It does have the original engine, and the interior is original style interior. I won't say it's the factory interior, but it is the original style.
Yeah, you try to do everything back to the way it was originally built.
Yes, sir.
Why a Metropolitan, Donnie?
I had a 55 Chevrolet, and every time I went to a car show, everybody had 55 Chevrolets. So I sold, after I bought this one, I sold the 55 Chevrolet and just put all my time and effort into the Metropolitan. Metropolitans were started in 1954 as NKI, Nash Kelvinator, and then it went to just Nash Metropolitans, and Hudson even bought the name brand out for a while. This is a 1960 American Motors Metropolitan, but it's made in England. All the Metropolitans were made in England.
Okay.
And there was probably a total from 1954 to 62, there was a total of probably 95,000 Metropolitans made. They had several color combinations. In the 60 models, they had red and white, they had a green and white, they had a coral color with white, and obviously the black and white ones. There were several color combinations.
Yeah. All right, and so tell us about when you got it home. What did you do first to it?
When I got it home, it was not the car I thought it was, so I immediately just pulled it on in the shop. I did have to get it running a little bit better first, but I got it running, and then after we got it running, we pulled it on in the shop, and I just started stripping it down and just, from there. I didn't work on it during the winter months because of the cold weather, and it's just a summertime hobby, and it took a while to do it, but we finally got through with it last September.
Last September. So you've been showing it about a year?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, and you received an award the first time you showed it, or no?
Not the first time. I didn't receive one, so it was a little disappointing, but I got over it. You can't win one every time, but we have picked up a few awards. Matter of fact, we were here at Grace Baptist Church last year, and we did get the pastor's choice, which I really appreciated that.
Yeah, good to see you back, Donnie. Thank you so much for sharing your automobile with us.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Billy Wright at Dublin Chrysler, and I want to start off by thanking all our customers this year for a great year that we've had so far. And now I want to thank all our teachers, staff, and coaches for the time you invest in our children. And coaches, good luck on this year's football season. Next, I want to let everybody know what's coming up here at Dublin Chrysler Dodge. For the month of October, anybody that brings their vehicle in to our service department for any kind of repair, service, or maintenance work will be entered for a drawing to win oil changes for life. That's right, I said oil changes for life. Just stop into the service drive and ask one of our service professionals about the details on that. Thank y'all, and come see us at Dublin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
See Dublin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today at 2054 US 441 in Dublin. Call 272-3500 or 1-800-GO-DODGE.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell. I want to say thank you to the community for allowing us to help you in your financial plans. If you're looking for a personal banker to assist you in meeting all your financial needs, then let me invite you to stop by our location on Bellevue Avenue in Dublin. You'll love our location, our services, and especially our people. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service-built, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
I'm Marcus Clements with Clements & King Insurance. We now sell final expense life insurance for seniors. Life insurance available through age 85. Guaranteed acceptance. Call Clements & King Insurance for all your health and life insurance needs.
Every morning, you're up at dawn to take care of the land you love. So are we. That's why Kubota dealers are the best at understanding what you need and sending you home with the perfect machine for the job. We know more than equipment. We know you.
Freeman's Lawn and Garden. Call us at 272-2198.
%0 financing, and we'll just add it to your bill. Start saving today. It only makes sense. The City of Dublin Natural Gas.
There's nothing quite like a delicious meal with friends and family. That's why the newest and most exciting restaurant is now open in downtown Dublin, the Local Yokel Cafe. We specialize in serving breakfast, brunch, and lunch all day, 7 days a week to ensure each meal is a great one. Whether you're having our huge portions of Eggs Benedict, omelets, or waffles in the morning, or our giant hamburger steak platter or jaw-dropping turkey avocado wrap for lunch, we are ready to please you. Breakfast, brunch, and lunch, it's what we do. The Local Yokel Cafe in downtown Dublin and next to Georgia Military College.
Now we're standing here with Mr. Ray Farrell, and we got a 1941 truck that is beautiful.
Thank you.
It is a gorgeous truck now. You show this very much?
Since 1963.
You've been showing it and showing it. Isn't it beautiful? Now tell us about the vehicle. Where'd it come from?
Well, I don't know. It come off of a farm somewhere. I don't know where. I bought it in 1957. In good shape. Had original paint and everything on it then.
This original color?
Yeah. Well, it's original color, but it's not the original paint. I've had it painted
right.
twice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it was in good shape. Never has been wrecked. It's all still got most all the original sheet metal on it.
So you had a lot to work with there, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, to start with, and it being in such good shape. You drive it very much at all?
It's probably got, the body's probably got between 1.25 and 5 million miles on it.
What about the engine there?
About 125,000 on it.
Now let's take it back when you first got it. Who did the work on it then?
Me.
You did all the work?
Well, yeah, the first time. Now, when I redid it again in 2010, and my nephew did the biggest work. I was a helper this time on
yes,
it. But,
you were supervisor that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showing a lot of shows?
Yeah, I've showed it in several shows. I had it down to Turkey Run, Daytona 2010. Showed it down there. Mm-hmm. But it's been in several. Most of the time I just go to cruise now instead of going to show that somebody that I want to help or something like that.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. What you love most about the truck?
All of it. Probably some of the best memories is both of my daughters grew up in it. And back in the early 60s, one of them sat in the seat between us, and the other one stood up behind my back, and so we used to ride around a lot in it. And I used it for a service truck for several years and had a service station. Mm-hmm. Been a work truck, probably a farm truck to start with. When I first bought it, of course, the spare used to be on the side right there by the back of the cab.
Yes, sir.
And when I bought it, when I took the tire off, all down in behind it had a bunch of hay in there, so that's why I figured it come off of a farm somewhere.
Yes, sir.
But it was all original when I bought it.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful automobile now. Tell us about your daughter. What's their names?
My oldest daughter named Pam Kirkland, and my youngest daughter is LaVon Doty. She lives up in Madison, the other lives in Smyrna, up near Atlanta.
When they come back around, they like to ride in the truck.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They fussing now about which one of them get it when I die.
And you said don't rush things, right?
Yeah.
Don't rush it. We appreciate you sharing your automobile with us. Thank you for coming today.
It's been a joy. I headed up the car show in Marble Festival in Jasper for 5 years when they was having it at the, where they had the main part of the Marble Festival. Give that up, that's a job. I mean,
yes,
job.
Now you just come to them.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's it.
Yeah. Once again, thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and I appreciate you looking at it. It's a 5.0 fuel-injected engine, and got automatic overdrive transmission in it, and of course added air and power steering and power brakes and everything this trip when I redid it. But the engine is out of a 89 Mercury Grand Marquis. And one of the reasons that I wanted that engine, the throttle bite is on the left side of the engine, and that way I didn't have no trouble running the cable for my accelerator on it. But I tried to keep the outside of it looking pretty much original over the years. I didn't modify the outside much. But otherwise, it's all truck never been wrecked. So it's been pretty decent old truck. Got a few bugs on it there as we come down, but I'm too lazy to get them off. I decided people know I drove it that way. I drove it to Daytona to the turkey run one year, and that cab gets awful small now since I got old. That upholstering was, I restored it in 1963 the first time, and this upholstering, the guy built all of it, you know, like I wanted it. So it's held up good. Put a headline in it. It used to have a cardboard headline, and the older models did, and he put a regular headline in it. But he was one of the best upholstering men in the state of Georgia back in them days. I had bought a new 64 Fairlane Sports Coupe, and I carried it up there and I said, Bill, I want my inside of my truck to look just like the upholstering in the car, because then if I went off somewhere to the show, I'd usually tow it behind my car. Otherwise, everything pretty original on it. At the back, I made a little change on the tail light, and all come originally with one small tail light about that big around right there. Built that panel and put the lights down there. I used the truck in a service station for several years with my service truck.
It's easy to score a great deal at Dublin Nissan.
The fully loaded Rogue Sport is as low as $25,252.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
When this last storm came through, I think it was Sandy, we were out for 7 or 8 days, and we were the only ones with power. When the power goes out, there's probably about a 6 or 8 second delay, and then we get a staged recovery. It takes less than a minute, but everything's on within a minute. The furnace is running, the lights are on, the TV's on, the washer, the dryer, the oven, everything. To me, this generator has paid for itself several times. If I lost power right now, these pipes could very easily freeze in probably a day or two, and that would cause significant damage. And maybe insurance would cover it once, but I really don't want to go through having my walls torn out and the pipes replaced. My family is going to be safe and secure in my house because of this generator. That gives you that feeling of security that, to me, is priceless.
Would you like the peace and security starting today? Then call the City of Dublin Natural Gas. The City of Dublin Natural Gas, the smart choice.
Why do we put so much effort into engineering the Can-Am Defender? Why do we equip it with tough Rotex engines featuring impressive torque? Why do we give it massive towing and hauling capabilities? And why do we make it clever with versatile cargo solutions and much more? Well, why do you put so much effort at everything you do? Because a job worth doing is worth doing right. Can-Am Defender. Tough, capable, clever. Visit the new location of Myers Equipment and Supply, 301 North Jefferson Street in Dublin. Call 478-272-7769.
It's easy to score a great deal at Dublin Chevrolet.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Tahoe or Suburban.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
Okay, now we're over with Jerry Daniels. And Jerry, you from Rents?
Yes, Rents, Georgia.
All right. Right here local, and got a beautiful car. Gosh, what a beautiful body on this car.
Yes.
Yeah, why'd you choose this?
Of course, I bought this car a couple years ago, and I was looking for a blue car because I went to West Lawrence. All right. And so I wanted something to represent Raider Country, and I also liked it because it was convertible. And I wanted a classic car, so when I saw it, I thought it fit me, and so I decided to get it.
You're enjoying it a lot, aren't you, Jerry?
Very much so, particularly, especially on a day like today when it's sunny and you can let the top down and drive it down the road and feel the air blowing on you. I enjoy it quite a bit.
So, Jerry, tell us about the car.
It's a 1964 Chevy Chevelle. SS, Malibu SS, it's convertible. This is a 350. It came with a 283, and it has been beefed up some with, it's got a small cam in it, so it's probably pushing around 300 horsepower. And it's a 3-speed transmission automatic. And for the most part, it's pretty much stock except for the engine and the transmission. Everything else is pretty much stock. The interior has been refurbished as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. So did you do much of the work, or who did it?
No, it was done in North Carolina. It was done up in Charlotte, and that's where I picked it up at, in Charlotte, North Carolina.
How'd you find it? You just kept looking?
Yeah, I was on the internet, and you know, now with technology, you can just put in search terms, and I put in some search terms on a car that I may be interested in, and this is what pulled up.
What color blue is it?
It's called a Marina Blue.
Yes. I thought you were going to say Raider blue.
No, it's not a Raider blue. Yes. Yeah. The car was originally red, and when it was restored, I went back with the blue. The car, when I bought it, only had 1,200 miles on it, and right now I've only put about 1,200 miles on it. So it has about 2,400 miles over a 2-year period. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And so what do you do most days with it? It stays parked? It's not your driver?
No, it's not my daily driver. Yeah. It stays parked, and I'm primarily bringing it out for car shows and maybe parades. Yeah. And every now and then, maybe on a Sunday, may drop the top and cruise up and down the road.
Live life a little
bit.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, tell us about yourself. What do you do here in our community?
Actually, I do a few things. I am a university professor. I teach at Albany State University in the Department of Social Work, and I actually have a private mental health practice as well.
All right,
yes.
Yeah. How long have you been in our community? All your life?
Most of my life. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. My parents were from this area. My dad was from the Rents area. My mom was from Cadwell. They had moved to Detroit to seek better employment back in the 60s, and then my dad returned, and I moved with him when I was 9 years old. So I've been here since 1976.
Yeah. Okay, now Jerry, this is another automobile you have out here. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a 1955 Ford F100, fully customized. Everything on here has been redone, totally by hand. It's a 4.5-year bill. Yes.
How did you choose this vehicle? Where'd you find it?
Same thing. Just I found this one in North Carolina also. This truck was actually built in Florida, and it was built for a guy somewhere out in the Midwest. I mean, the guy lived out in the Midwest. He had to build the truck custom built for himself, and I guess after he built it, he wanted to sell it. He sold it to a guy in Minnesota, and I actually bought it from the guy in Minnesota. But I bought it through a consignment dealer. It's one of the premier dealerships in the country, definitely. I mean, not in the world, definitely in the country. And so I found it on the internet as well. I actually followed this truck for about a year before I picked it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a prize.
Yes.
This is a real prize. Yeah. All right, so tell us about this engine here and how it's laid out.
This is a Shelby GT500 engine. These engines are actually made in Michigan, and they're made by this special vehicle team with Ford. And 2 individuals actually make the engine by hand, and they actually put a plate on here with a number stamped, and they sign that they actually hand built this engine. And of course, this engine went from Michigan to Toronto, Canada, and it was tuned and put the supercharger was put on by Shine Highland Motorsports out of Canada. And this is the supercharger right here. So Sean Highland added all of that stuff to it and tuned it to give it even more power than what it had coming from the factory. So instead of 500 horses or 400 and maybe 50 horses, when Sean Highland put the supercharger on there and tuned it, it has 640 horses. It's a 1955 truck with a 2013 engine in it. And the way that it was designed, all of this was custom cut out so that the engine could be, this particular engine would fit right in here, and all the components would fit right where they are now. It's about 4 inches off the ground where the running boards are, but there are components that are under here that really gives it about 2.5 to 3 inch clearance, and that's it. So it's almost touching the ground. The exhaust doesn't come out the back, the exhaust comes out the running boards. So it's kind of once again, one of those custom features that were added to the truck. Normally you would see the exhaust come out the back, and sometimes you'll see them come out the side, but not through the running boards. Because it's so low, they had to make the exhaust that would fit right where the running boards are to keep the exhaust from touching the ground. Custom bed, it's a walnut bed, and walnut is some of the nicest wood that you can use. It's rare in many places, so that gives it another unique feature. The color of the wood blends nicely with the color of the truck. It's just a nice bed, and the bed was custom made. You've got 20-inch wheels on the back, 18s on the front. Those are Colorado Customs that were built specifically for this truck. Keeping with the bed is, once again, it's unique to the truck. It was custom built. The tailgate was custom built, and they made it where it would flare out and have a nice look to it from the back. The tail lights in there came out of a Cadillac. Normally those tail lights would be sitting faced up, but they just laid them down and put them in the back so that they would fit nicely. It has a custom fuel tank on it. Instead of filling up, the fuel tank used to be right where the cab is at, and now it's right here in the back. So whenever we put fuel in there, of course, we just let the tailgate down, open up the fuel tank, and put the fuel in. I think it's an 18-gallon tank on there. The doors handles have been shaved, so there are no door handles. And the doors open by door poppers, so you just hit a button and the doors pop open. Custom interior, all leather. Leather is soft to the touch. The dash and everything in there has been refurbished, sanded, painted, and smooth, and it's a very nice look. This is a 4-speed, and this is the one with the Super Street Fighter transmission in it. And even the chassis on here has a custom chassis. It's the chassis is what is called a roadster chassis. It's out of Illinois. They custom fabricate the chassis just to fit this truck.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful truck. Now, Jerry, you have one more vehicle over here to share with us,
yes.
Right? Jerry, we got another prize here, don't we?
Yes, sir. This is a 1966 Chevy Nova Pro Touring vehicle. Pro Touring means that essentially the drivetrain has been replaced on this car, totally replaced. Engine, transmission, rear end, the chassis, the brakes, everything has been replaced on this car. Essentially, this car was built for autocross racing. So going through the cones, and so it has the sway bars on it to keep it from turning over when you're going through the cones or going around a curve. The engine is an LS1 engine in it, out of a Corvette, and it has been beefed up some more to put it at about 450 horsepower. It's been a joy to have this car thus far. The wheels on this car, you've got 18s on the front, 20s on the back, and the wheels are what are called Coys. They're pretty popular wheels, and these wheels actually, they have a chrome look on the outside, but they've got, it's like a smoke gray on the inside, and the wheels actually match the color of the interior of the car. And actually with the color of the car, the color is a marina blue, and it has a gray stripe on it to kind of accent the wheels as well, and the interior. We've done a few things to this car. We've put in LED headlights, LED tail lights, LED marker lights. We've put in, it had chrome hood hinges on it. We took those off and we put the actually aluminum the billet aluminum hinges on the hood as well as in the trunk. In the trunk, it's a custom trunk. And what we did was we were not satisfied with the stereo system that came in the car, so we took the car and we put in a brand new stereo system. And everything in terms of the stereo system is JL Audio products, top of the line JL Audio, except for the radio. The radio is Pioneer 8200, which is the top radio that Pioneer makes. So we wanted a stereo system that would actually complement the car. It's got a unique interior, as I stated before. These cars, some of them came with bench seats, some didn't. Of course, this one now has the bucket seats in the front, and although it's a bench seat in the back, it's almost like it's a bucket seat as well. It's a really fast car. When you're driving it, it makes that adrenaline, you can feel that adrenaline rush, especially in first and second gear. Well, first through third, you're really gonna have an adrenaline rush. It's got the Tremec 6-speed transmission in it, and in order to get up to all 6 gears, you basically got to be on the interstate. We try not to do that though. We try not to get it up to 6-speed. We've been up, but even the headliner is it's custom, and it's leather as well. Out of the 3 vehicles, I'm gonna say that this is the one we've probably enjoyed the most. And out of all 3 cars, this is the loudest.
I want to thank you for sending Matt Hatchett to the Georgia General Assembly. He's an outstanding member, and I selected him to be one of my floor leaders, and he's done an outstanding job trying to get legislation through the General Assembly, and we have some good things to show for it. One of the largest tax cuts in the history of the state of Georgia, reform of our criminal justice system, and many other important initiatives that Matt has been an important part of getting that passed.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Bryant with Oconee EMC. We would like to take this opportunity to thank you, our members, for your patience and understanding during our restoration efforts of Hurricane Tropical Storm Irma. This storm affected approximately 70% of Oconee EMC's service territory. I know this was a difficult time for members, as well as our linemen, support staff, and 9 additional crews, some from Kentucky and North Carolina, that assisted in the restoration efforts. Thank you for your prayers of safety for our linemen and support staff during this time. Oconee EMC, your local electric cooperative, is here to work diligently for you and the communities we serve. Thank you for helping us make a difference.
Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Miss Betty Daniel. Tell us about this beautiful automobile. I love this color.
Well, thank you, sir. We got this automobile probably about 5 to 6 years ago, and we have really enjoyed it. We've had it in a couple of car shows or whatever. And matter of fact, last week we was over in Warner Robins, and we received our first trophy, first time for our trophy. Yes, we're very proud. We thank
Betty,
you.
what did they give you? What award?
It was a Dodge 5-star award, a trophy.
Awesome.
5-star Dodge, right.
Yes, ma'am. So tell us about the automobile. What year, what make, what model?
It's a 1960 Chevy Impala. And like I say, everything is original. We haven't done anything to it. And like I say, we really would like to keep it original. The only thing we'll probably do maybe is put air conditioner or power steering, you know, something that would, you know, like and bring it up to date. But we want to keep it more the original.
Yeah, you could do away with a little comfort to keep it original.
Right,
but that AC does come in handy.
Yeah, the AC does come in handy. Right.
So your husband's name?
Robert Daniel.
And so y'all found this car a little while back and agreed to purchase it together?
Right, we purchased it together from a guy over in Edenton, Georgia.
So what's the love with the Impala?
I think it's just, it's something with me. It was like maybe a year older than I am. And I love that because I am, like I say, from the old school.
Yes,
and I really love that. And it bring back the blessings from your parents and everything like that. And it just, like I said, just old school, and I love it.
Yeah, and so the fender wells on here, and the chrome and all, is just so beautiful, isn't it?
It is, and it's all original. They came, everything came on the car once we purchased it or whatever.
Yeah, and the color and the interior. This is original interior
right,
as well.
Original interior also. The color, the interior, everything is original.
How often y'all drive it, Betty?
Well, not that much. We mostly when we are going to a show or whatever, car show, and we'll take it a bath, and we give it a bath. Try to keep it clean because it, like I say, it is a beautiful. I love the color.
It is. Who gets to drive though? You?
Well, I'm not as strong as he is, so sometimes I do it, sometimes he do, whatever. Because without the power steering, it makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I know y'all have enjoyed it, and I'm glad y'all out and attended some shows, and congratulations on the award recently. Now, when we see out around the community and he's driving, is it okay to wave at him since we don't have power steering?
Oh, yeah. I think that'll be great.
But if you're driving, don't wave, right? You won't wave back.
I'll keep it right and straight.
Yeah.
Keep it straight
Where
and
do y'all
center.
live, Betty?
Well, he's originally from Rents, Georgia, but I also kept my home in Dublin, so we live in Dublin and in Rents.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And so you grew up here?
Right. I'm originally from right here on, we call it Telfair side.
Yeah.
My parents are originally from the old Macon area, old Macon Road.
Yes,
they call it the Millville community up
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
So we're originally from there, and like I said, now I live in Dublin, but we're originally from the old Macon Road up in Montrose.
Millville area. Did you go to school at Millville?
No, matter of fact, 40 years of Dublin High. We had our 40-year class reunion. That was the 1st of September, the Labor Day weekend.
It's good to get together with friends, isn't
Oh,
it?
it is a
Old
blessing.
classmates.
Like it is a blessing, that's right.
Yeah, we have a great community, don't we?
We have a blessed community, sure do. Like I say, it is a blessing, and I thank God that I grew up here.
Yeah, me
Yes,
too, Betty.
I love
Just
it.
a kindred spirit in our
Right,
community,
there you
I
go.
think.
There you go.
Yeah. And so it's good to come out to Grace Baptist Church. You know, when they named it Cruisin with Grace,
okay,
you gotta like that.
I love it because I never knew what Grace. I've seen it on the sign or whatever going by, but I never know where it was. And it is a blessing to be a part of this car show over here because last week, like I said, we was over in Warner Robins. But to be home, it is a blessing to be here.
Well, Betty, we look forward to seeing y'all again, this beautiful Impala.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we caught up with Mr. Ethel Howell, and Ethel, it's been a little while since we've been out to your place, and we saw this beautiful Chevy that you had out there, and you got it out here again. This is an original Impala here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
1958 Impala, the one and only. They made one body style this year, and that's it. The Impala was. The sedans and everything from here back was totally different. The only thing same is the front end. And these Impalas were totally different then, and different sheet metal from there back. It was 3 inches lower than any other 58. So I always thought they were cool.
It is a cool car.
Yeah.
And when you can get it out, you get it out, don't you?
Yeah, you just have to stretch it out every now and then. Put it to work.
This is the original color you told us, right?
Yes, it's Colonial Cream in 58. That's what Chevrolet used, the Colonial Cream, and Pontiac used the same color, different name. So, and it's got 348 engine, stock, 250 horsepower. So that's about just money. All it takes is money to build one.
And time and talent.
Yes.
And you got that. How long you been doing body work and car work?
Around 55 years, I guess. It's a long time, and I'm cutting back bad. I just bought a 57. Gonna redo it if I live long enough.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
It's a two-door hardtop Bel Air, red, but it needs work. My wife said I don't need to spend that money on it, but it's gonna be done.
That's the first time you ever heard that, Ethel?
No, not quite. Everybody. I hear it too often.
It's just the last time, right? Yeah. And how many hours did it take to do this car? Do you remember?
It's hard to say because you got hours you put in it you don't even think about.
It's just, and it's off and on sometimes.
Yeah, just off and on. When you're doing crash work, you work it in. and you liable to have 1,000 or 5,000 hours in it. You don't know. I don't know no way to keep up with it.
And tell me about this Impala now, and what went into reworking it.
Floors completely from the cowl all the way back out the trunk, rockers inner and outer, and everything else. It's just hard to name everything.
How do you get interior and all like that,
Sidella builds an interior complete, and I got Randall Roach to install the seat covers and so forth. You buy it already pre-made.
Right.
And the painting, my sons helped me on some of it. Chad helped me more than any of them. Thad, he disappears when the hard work comes along. But anyway, it's I enjoy it, not as much as I used to.
But you still enjoy it. You got a passion for it, and it's an art.
I need to start selling something. Maybe somebody will come along with a pile of money and can take this car home.
It would take it.
It'd be a good Christmas present.
It would take it. Yeah, put this under the tree.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
sir.
right.
But Atha, we appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
And listen, you are a great way to finish this show out because you are a classic car.
Thank you.
Thank you.